Well, good day, subscribers. Hope you guys are having a great day out there. As always, if you're new here, I am Jeremy. I am a Tesla shareholder, and I want to go ahead and give some perspective on why people are asking me why Tesla stock continues to go up. In the last few months, the stock has gone from under $180 a share to $245 where it's at today. Okay, that's about a $65 jump in just the past few months. And some people are wondering, like, why is there this momentum coming back into Tesla stock? It looked like, it all had been lost, and it was like in the springtime, Tesla stock continued to fall and fall and fall. And then it reached around 180, and then it's just been kind of up and up and up and up, and now we're at about 245 today. And I pinned this on 5 different things on what Wall Street's looking at and saying, you know what, Tesla's starting to look pretty attractive here, okay? Now, first off, if anybody who thinks like the market matters, like what the market's doing for like Tesla stock price is completely irrelevant, okay? How the stock market is doing at a time for Tesla stock is completely irrelevant. It's one of the only stocks, if not the only stock literally in the stock market that doesn't give an F what is going on in the stock market. If you want to go ahead and see this, okay? Remember October, November into December, right? The stock market was an absolute disaster. It was going down and down and down, and all stocks were getting nailed. Stocks were down 20%, 30%, 40%, 50% in a very short amount of time. And what was little lonely Tesla stock doing? It was reaching all-time highs. And then we go ahead and we fast forward into the springtime, okay? We go from January and February, then we go to March, April, May. And what was going on in the stock market? The stock market was going up. Almost all stocks were going up. And what was Tesla stock doing? It was going down and down and down, and it continued to hit newer and newer lows until it reached around $180 or just under $180 just a few months ago, okay? So Tesla's like the only stock in the stock market that literally, if the stock market's great, it means nothing to Tesla stock. If the stock market's crashing, it means nothing to Tesla stock. Like, it literally just doesn't matter. It does whatever the F it wants to do, okay? So let's get into these 5 reasons. I hope you guys enjoy this. As always, make sure you smash the thumbs up button, whether you're a Tesla long or you're a Tesla bear or you're anything in between. Smash that thumbs up button, guys. So let's start getting into these 5 reasons, okay? Reason number 1 has to do with the man in front of the company, Mr. Elon Musk. What has Elon Musk been doing? Just normal Elon Musk stuff, okay? If we look at what Elon has done over the past few months, there's nothing we can really point at and say, oh, that's bad. Why did Elon do that? Why did Elon tweet that? There's been nothing the media could go ahead and run with and make a bunch of stories about Elon and like distracting from the Tesla mission and Elon Musk's mission for the company, okay? So if I look at Elon the past several months, it's been good Elon. There's been no drama there. There's been nothing the short sellers can say that, oh my gosh, Elon's acting crazy, blah, blah, blah. There's been nothing about that, okay? Elon's still been in the public, okay? He's still been doing things. He just did a debate very recently about artificial intelligence with Jack Ma, so he's been in the public. He still tweets and all those sorts of things, sometimes several times a day, but there's been nothing he's tweeted or said or done that has been, negative for Tesla or negative for his personal brand or anything like that. And when you're talking about good Elon, you're talking about a man who's really a visionary and can do some unbelievable things, right? And who massive amounts of people look up to as kind of someone who, we have very few people in this world that can really like show us what is truly possible. Imagine the things they're doing at SpaceX. Imagine the things they're doing at Tesla. Like, without Elon Musk, would any of this be possible? So it's always great when we have some folks in the world that can show us the limits are just our limits we create in our minds. You can do anything. You can achieve anything in this world. So when Elon's being great Elon, man, it is good for Tesla stock overall. That's just the bottom line, because none of the media can say, oh, he said this. Oh, the short sellers, none of that, okay? Reason number 2 has to do with China, okay? Basically, within the next couple months, the China Gigafactory is going to open right outside of Shanghai, okay? So this is really exciting for the company. If you've been keeping progress on it on like YouTube, there's been a lot of like YouTubers over there in China and whatnot, which I'm not even sure how they upload onto YouTube in China, but they get it done, okay? And they fly their drones around the China factory that Tesla's been building over there, and it's unbelievable how fast it's gone up, and that should open within the next 2 to 3 months, which means China is going to be now a real market opportunity, where it went from like a niche market where it was like, extremely expensive to sell Teslas into China when they were making them in California, then getting them all the way over to China, then trying to sell them. Now they're going to have a dedicated factory just for the Chinese market for Model 3s and then Model Ys when they come down the road. This is a huge game changer for the company. This is something that will help increase revenue by billions of dollars a year. And then I believe these cars will probably be more profitable for Tesla overall. And I think this will will be something that helps the company get to consistently net income. If you're kind of new here and you don't really know much about Tesla, Tesla's pretty much always been a company that has lost money on the bottom line, meaning they're losing more money than basically they have coming in, okay? And if I look at the China Gigafactory, I think that's going to be a great opportunity for Tesla to go ahead and shift things where they actually start making a profit on the bottom line, which is essential for a business to flourish, okay? So that is absolutely a great thing, okay? Reason number 3 has to do with whether you guys hit this thumbs up button or not. Reason number 3 has to do with Model Y, okay? Model Y is getting closer and closer and closer. Now, they've talked a lot about Model Y could possibly launch in the back half of 2020 at some point, okay? Now, I think there's some folks on Wall Street that are kind of realizing that Model Y might be this huge thing. This is one of the least hyped Tesla's ever come out with, okay? Elon Musk hasn't spent a ton of time like super hyping the Model Y. We haven't seen it hyped like to an extreme extent from the Wall Street community and analysts and things like that. We've heard actually very little chatter about the Model Y. But I think some folks are starting to realize Model Y is probably going to be the #1 seller for Tesla overall, okay? Especially if you look at like the USA where people absolutely love SUVs, okay? People absolutely love SUVs. And in the good old United States of America, the Model Y could very much outsell the Model 3. So imagine the numbers Model 3 are doing. And imagine the fact that Model 3 could even increase production again, maybe starting in 2020, okay? Now keep in mind, Model Y could actually outsell that quite a bit. And so I think there's some folks out there that are saying this might be one of the few times that Elon Musk and Tesla in general hasn't overhyped the product and like put too bullish of numbers out there. This might be something where they actually are kind of quiet about it and they come out with some ridiculous numbers when this vehicle goes into full production, and then people realize, oh man, this is actually a really big thing, okay? And for the Model Y, much of it is built very, very similar to the Model 3, meaning that this car, you know, could be a profitable car right from the get-go, where many Teslas in the past have been whole new like architectures and like, you know, building them has been like, you know, so much learnings have gotten into it, right? Model Y, there'll be some learnings even still with that vehicle, but much of it is very similar to the Model 3, which will make the build a lot easier and for the company to maybe make profits right from the get-go with that vehicle overall, okay? So I think people are starting to realize Elon Musk is on his great behavior. You got the China Gigafactory coming in a few months. You have Model Y coming in 2020. And now there's even been some rumors that Model Y might come a little early. And if that comes early, then that's something no one even expected, and that could help out numbers even more. And so people are starting to look at all this and they're like, okay, this is interesting, okay? Number 4 has to do with something very niche and not a lot of people pay attention to, but it has to do with wiring. So there's a lot of talk now that in future Teslas, they could use a dramatic amount less of wiring that goes into the vehicle. And why is this important to use a lot less wiring when it goes into a vehicle, okay? Well, the less wiring you use to basically make this electric vehicle work, right? The less wiring you use, the less weight the car will have. The less weight the car that has means the more mileage you can get out of the batteries, okay? So this is an amazing, amazing accomplishment, and Tesla has a lot of patents around this wiring. Not only that, the less wiring you use, what does it bring down? It brings down the cost of the vehicle, okay? So you're talking about if you can use a dramatic amount less wiring that Tesla's probably going to be able to do in future vehicles. They've been able to cut it already several times, but it looks like they're going to be able to cut the wiring by, they were talking about up to like 10 times, like a 10x. Like that's ridiculous, okay, if that is possible. But even if it was a 2x or 5x around the amount of wiring they could cut, that would be amazing, right? But you think about that. You bring down the weight of the vehicle so they can go a lot further with a lot less wiring, right? And the cost of all that wiring, you bring that down as well. So you get a car that could potentially be more profitable, and you get a car that could go a lot further. And we know like mileage is king with a lot of these electric cars, and Tesla already has the advantage when it comes to how far their vehicles can go versus the competition. Now you talk about if these cars are much less heavy than a lot of their competitors, guys, this is something really exciting, okay? So those are 4 great reasons in themselves. And then reason number 5 is the last one. This one, no one on Wall Street ever wanted to admit this, okay? Everybody on Wall Street, and especially short sellers and whatnot, have been talking about this for years and years and years. And I think they're almost starting to give up on this idea, okay? And what it has to do with basically is it's around comp, okay? Competition. Here we are. We're now officially in the back half of 2019. And we have yet to see any real competition for Tesla. And so this pipe dream that Wall Street had and a lot of short sellers had around the competition's gonna knock out Tesla, I think people are starting to give up on that because they're like, okay, we've been talking about this for years and years and years. It still hasn't happened. It doesn't look like it's gonna happen anytime soon. It looks like Tesla's just, out far and far and far outproducing anybody else in electric vehicles. If you're talking about other electric vehicle competition, they haven't been able to succeed. If you're talking about the legacy players, the ICE auto manufacturers, right, they haven't been able to succeed. And so if you're looking at all this as a Wall Street analyst or even a Wall Street bear, and you're looking at competition, you're like, dude, I don't think it's ever gonna come. Porsche Taycan just came out. Taycan, how do you pronounce it? Let me know in the comment section. That just came out very recently, right? And we talked about that vehicle. I think I'll probably show you a thumbnail of the video here, right? We talked about that vehicle. That was a vehicle that starts over $150,000 base price, okay? That's not competition for Tesla at all, okay? That's not even close to being competition. If you want to compete in electric vehicles, you need to create a super fast car that is very, very attractive, that can drive itself, and comes under $50,000. And if we're looking at that, is there anybody that's even remotely close to that? No. So the more and more you start to look at competition, whether you're bearish on the stock or whether you're an analyst, the more and more you kind of realize, oh my gosh, like Tesla really, really legit has a massive years upon years advantage, okay? It was always like, a famous thing at Apple back in the day when Steve Jobs went there. It was always like Steve Jobs had the company years in front of the competition, okay? And, over the time that advantage Apple had kind of dissipated a bit because they lost a visionary that was Steve Jobs at that company, right? And if you kind of look at, with Elon Musk in the helm of Tesla here, there's so many years in front of the competition. The competition can't even think. They can't even think about trying to do the things Tesla is doing right now, even in a few years from now, okay? The competition can't even imagine coming out with a vehicle that's attractive, that can drive itself, and, has good range, and is fast, and is all those things, and is cool, under $50,000. Like, the competition can't even, conceive that, right? The competition can't even conceive that. So the competition around Tesla is just lagging so far behind. And for that reason, a lot of these bears have just said, you know what, I think we're going to give up on the stock. And we've seen some famous bearish people on Tesla over the past year or so that said, I think there was a quote like, the competition was taking Ambien or something like that. One guy was like, used to be super bearish on the stock. He was always on CNBC. He'd always talk negative about Tesla, blah, blah, blah. And then, recently he changed his position because he was like, dude, there's no competition for Tesla. Like, we haven't seen anything that can even put up a remote fight against the fight Tesla's going for with Model 3 and Model Y down the road, which is affordable, nice electric vehicles. And you don't see anything like that. And so you have some short sellers now that's saying, dude, we're giving up. We have to give up because the competition's not there. If the competition was there, maybe this is a different story in regards to Tesla stock, right? But when the competition is so many years behind, it's hard to even tell. Like, I'm thinking at least 3 years behind the competition is. It might be 5 years plus the competition is behind realistically, okay? That's how far back these guys and gals are. And so if you look at those 5 reasons there, it's hard to see why, Tesla stock wouldn't continue to uptrend here, and it wouldn't continue to get momentum as probably the year progresses and into 2019, because people realize, oh my gosh, China Gigafactory is coming, Model Y is coming. They have this extremely great opportunity with all these patents around getting less wiring. The competition's non-existent, and Elon Musk is being good Elon Musk, and it's like, yeah, Tesla's looking pretty dang attractive, guys. So anyways, hope you enjoy this. As always, let me know in the comment section what your opinion is on Tesla stock, Elon Musk, and the whole deal. Don't forget to smash that thumbs up button. That means a lot to me, guys. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.